Okay, I think we're almost 10 people now. I think there's a few more that might be coming, but for the sake of everyone, and since we're all busy, I think it's best that we just kick this off and get started. So you all know who I am, and we also know that you're investors in Dealflow. However, we don't know that much about each other besides that. So to warm up for what's to come and the presentation, which will take roughly 20 minutes, I want to start with a round of intros where we all share 3 things. First name, your profession, just described as neutrally as possible in as few words as possible. And the last thing you did right before joining this meeting as honestly as possible. So for me, I'd say my name is Seb. I'm a fintech entrepreneur, and I spent my time before this meeting walking around the lakes here close to the office, preparing, speaking to myself on the phone. And if you can go next, and then we just take the next one. So Finn.
Yeah, sure. My name is Finn. I'm a professional investor, and right before the meeting, I had lunch with a friend.
Nice. Hope it was a good lunch. And then you just pick the next person to introduce
Toby,
yourself.
you wanna go next, Toby?
Yes. Hey everyone, I'm Toby. I'm working with Finn, working on the venture startup investments under in the Atlantis vehicle. Right before this meeting, I was like trying to run through my emails and trying to get the inbox smaller. And next one, Daniel.
My name is Daniel Diepold. I'm a founder turned investor. I'm currently building an accelerator for people who don't need an accelerator. And before that meeting, I was selecting the next cohort.
Nice.
You have to decide who's next, Daniel.
Yeah, you, Quinton.
Quinton, exited founder, full-time investor right now, at Ewar as a partner, but also invested in SEP before I was a partner at Ewar privately. And I just came out of a call for the Friends and Family Fund that we're raising with Ewar.
Nice.
Nicolas Kip.
Yes, Nicholas, fintech founder and angel investor. I was actually having lunch with a customer. Next.
It's a good way to grow.
If Christian is
Simon?
Yeah. Or Simon. Oh, good.
I'm happy to go. Yeah, Simon, I'm a fintech founder as well. Yeah, we do payments for businesses in the crypto space. And I invested in SEP and Dealflow as an early angel investor. Before this meeting, I was sitting and preparing for the next iteration of our platform and our Series A that goes along with that. And I'll pick, I'm not sure if Tobias has gone yet.
No, I haven't. But you guys make it harder and harder to pick someone, right? It's like an advanced game of memory. So also call myself Toby, or people call me Toby. I'm from Cologne, Germany. I'm an entrepreneur and founder, and also investor in Dealflow together with my partner in crime, Alex, who's not here today. And right before that, before this meeting, I was having lunch with the whole team. Well, not the whole team, but big chunks of the team of one of the companies I found and I still work at. That's me.
Nice.
The next one would be no one, right? Or is? Guess we had everyone, right?
I think Ivan has yet to go.
Okay.
Øyvind, yes. My name is Øyvind. I'm Seb's dad, and I'm an early angel investor. I'm a medical doctor, a family practitioner, and the last thing I did was diagnosing a patient with influenza before this meeting. And trying to treat him also.
Good. Okay, I think that was everyone. Thank you for being honest and introducing yourself. I want to talk about 3 things in this meeting primarily, and most of it will be focused on the high-level aspects of the business. And the 3 things are the successes we had last year in 2024, more details about what we learned from our mistakes, and the future that we are creating. Does everyone see the screen that I'm sharing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Quinton.
Can we maybe start with the goal of this meeting? So when is this meeting successful? What do you want to get out of this meeting?
When we have run through these 3 topics, and I've introduced the ask or the most important goals for 2025, where you guys can be helpful, which is
Okay, so this is just like you giving us information, we listen. That's the meeting, right?
yeah, essentially. So
Okay,
it's me
okay.
giving you information, and then we're gonna have a Q&A at the end, and then I'm gonna make our goals for this year very clear, so that we are aligned about what's important for the next 12 months.
Okay.
And more details like financial projections for 2025 and the results from our growth in January will be included in the January update that I will send out on email later this week. And there's some good news coming there, such as continued 15% organic growth from last month. Also, if you have any questions, it would be great if you could just note them down for the end of the call, as I'm going to cover a lot in the presentation that will probably answer a lot of the questions already. So on the surface, I think it's clear for everyone that we in many ways had a great 2024. We made some good bets. We launched our new web app after hard pivot in the beginning of the year. I became the first Norwegian in history to join the Forbes list in finance. We closed a 1.1 million pre-seed extension round in June with several unicorn founders and operators from PayPal and Klarna. And after this, we onboarded the first batch of customers to our new web app and achieved 100x volume growth from 5,000 euros per month to more than 500,000 euros per month over the summer. This also means that our revenues went from 0 to 150,000 euros in annual run rates in the same time period. And you can see this on the graph when we actually released the web app to the first batch of customers, which is the third sort of point here, new web app launch. My co-founder and I decided to split as well, and we pulled off a very healthy breakup that left us with minimal debt equity risk. And some of you were very involved in making sure this went well. And we ended the year 5xing our transactional volumes from 2023 with no marketing or sales, purely focused on engineering and refining our credit ledger technology. So please raise your hand if you think this was good. And if you don't think this was good, then just do this. Okay, great. So we had some successes. But the truth is that celebration like this does not help us win this year. To do that, we have to go into the details. And the truth is that we originally targeted higher volumes when we closed our last round. We had many targets, but the 3 most important ones were these. We wanted to close the debt facility in Q3. We wanted to convert as much as the waitlist as possible. And we wanted to hit 10 million euros in monthly volume and an average fee of 1.5%. So I'll start to break down the debt facility and what happened there. Our plan in 2024 was to, in the beginning of 2024, was to make money from credit features in our platform, such as instant payout and pay later. This is what I pitched, and this is what many of you know. Back then, I chose a credit business model because this is what our customers really want and wanted, and it would allow us to achieve an average fee of roughly 1.5% across all volumes. However, we discovered some inefficiencies in this model, after we started processing real loans and doing instant payouts and talking to some credit founders in the US who had already scaled similar setups to add several hundreds of millions of dollars a year already. And the main obstacle was that our growth from now until the end of the day would be limited by how much and how fast we could grow our credit facilities or credit lines, which would constrain the business a lot. So realizing this, I decided to refine the plan and build a stronger foundation. And so we went from basically wanting to do everything at once to a plan in 2 parts. And part 1 is to build a checkout business first. And this is what we are doing now. And part 2 is to build a credit business once our volumes are high enough. And this move has allowed us to scale revenues independently of credit through pure transaction volume with limited credit risk. And this bet has been a success so far, and 100% of our monthly revenue right now is from the checkout business and it has nothing to do with credit. This is extra good news when we remember that we expected to have almost 0 revenue from our checkout business in the financial model from last year. It means that we've found a new big source of revenue that we did not expect. And I think this is the case for more areas in our platform as well. And I'll talk more about this later. And lastly, or secondly, we wanted to convert as much of the 10 million euro waitlist as much as possible. We decided to put this on pause and have therefore not started to fully open it up yet, except the 2 batches that we onboarded last year. This means that we currently have now more than 10 million euros in monthly volume on the waitlist and more than 700 signups of various sizes waiting to be converted. And there are several reasons for this pause, but the important one is that the new and deeper engineering roadmap caused by more focus on the checkout business as part 1 required 10x more engineering hours than the original plan. So we therefore chose and are still choosing to prioritize product first, as payments has to work 100% of the time for the clients that we already serve. This is therefore, I see this as a bandwidth problem that can be solved with external capital and more hands. And lastly, the 10 million euros per month volume target and the 1.5% average fee. So let's talk about the volume first. We did go from 0 to more than 500,000 euros per month on our new web app. However, this is still much lower than the original 10 million euros per month target. And the main reason for this is the waitlist conversion pause caused by the bandwidth problem that I just talked about. But there's good news here. We originally wanted to achieve an average fee of 1.5%. And it turns out this was a big underestimation because we have now already achieved a 2.3% average gross fee, and this is without credit. And eventually, I think we will be able to add a 2x multiple on top of this 2.3% fee, simply by offering 2 credit features, instant payout and pay later. We can therefore expect to see the total average fees as high as 4% when we add credit on top. And this is then almost 3 times higher than the original numbers that we pitched, or I pitched to you. This is the return of the extra engineering hours that we have invested in building our credit ledger. It means more revenues with less volume. And the potential is several multiples higher than the original estimations. So if you look at the pure volumes, it's clear that we did not hit our targets last year. However, I think we have to think bigger than that. The picture is actually better now due to our new technology and higher fees. So it means that we'll make more revenue with less volumes. And we can achieve the revenue targets that we had with less volumes as well. And we are doing this by building a great product today, then scale tomorrow when we are ready. And this is what we are currently doing. So we're here to turn this tomorrow into a reality. That's what we are working on. And we're currently, as you know, we're making money in our checkout business by charging a transaction fee of certain payments that run through the platform. And we can do so with a higher profit margin, low compliance costs, and global scalability because of our credit ledger technology. And our vision is to use this credit ledger with end-to-end transactional visibility and combine it with a vertical AI agent approach, turn Dealflow into the most accurate financial agent for SMBs that can help them run their payments, analytics, and eventually most of their business workflows. And our edge here is accuracy, because the credit ledger gives us proprietary data foundation of transactional data, accounting data, and bank data combined. And these are usually siloed and not really connected, but the credit ledger combines them into one ledger where we have full visibility on each transaction, which is where the accuracy comes from. And we get this partially from the more than 1,600 top banks across Europe and the UK that we now have a direct integration with. Our long-term bet is that business owners will go to the agent that gives them the most accurate answer about their business. We currently don't have the money or expertise to lead in anything related to the actual AI, but I think we can win in the application layer due to the accuracy that we get from deep financial data access. And right now, our volumes are, I think, as you all are aware of, they are not growing as fast as we'd like them to. And although the waitlist pause explains some of it, I know this is concerning for a high growth business. And so I want to give you some more context about this. We're currently, or at least until Monday this week, we've currently been a team of 4 people full-time, which means that I'm currently serving more than 100 monthly active companies using Dealflow every week and every month to as their most critical business tool to process millions with just 3 remote engineering freelancers in my back full-time. And this has called for an extreme ability to prioritize my to-do list and execute well. And I've chosen to master this instead of giving up, which is the main reason that we are running successfully right now. However, it has also unfortunately led me to put growth on an effective pause to make sure that we serve our existing customers well. And the facts are that right now the waitlist is sitting on more than 10 million euros in monthly volume and more than 700 signups in various sizes. And we won't know the final conversion rate of this volume before we give it a go. But at full conversion, it translates to more than 200,000 euros in monthly gross revenue at full conversion. And the point here is that we have a visible path to growth into a very big billion-dollar market and with a clear competitive edge due to our credit ledger. And our plan is to move into this market opportunity with confidence by focusing on our goals for this year. And the 3 most important ones is, as you can see on the slide here, it's a hire a head of finance and 1 new 10x engineer, raise 150,000 euro bridge round to extend our runway and prepare for our upcoming seed round, and hit at least 1.5 million euros in monthly volume, which is what we need to hit ramen profitability and be self-sustained. And then we want to use that to build momentum towards our seed round and execute a proper multi-million euro round. And as I've told some of you already, we already have more than 30 funds in the pipeline for this, but have expressed interest in joining and being involved with a written confirmation on email. Now, here's the good news. I just successfully signed and fully onboarded our new head of finance, Lasse, this Monday. And he's already up and running and running our payments and optimizing our financial reporting and helping out with a lot of admin stuff. He was by far my top pick, and the match has been promising so far. He is a VC-backed fintech operator with C-level experience from finance, operations, and strategy. And he's helped raise 8-figure euro funding rounds before, managed MRR of more than 2 million euros per month, and overseen total payment volumes as a COO of a payment startup here in Copenhagen of more than 100 million euros in total. So he's seen what it takes to win, and now he's all in to make sure we win as well. And I already have more than 200 plus profiles in the pipeline for the new engineering hire, where many of them are true 10x engineers. And we currently have a bit more than 30% of the bridge round committed from some of you. And we want to reserve the rest of these spots from the most suited existing investors. So if anyone here is interested in doubling down with us with a new ticket, please let me know via email this week. And it'd be good if you could do it before Friday, because the process has already started. And I'm sure we can figure something out. Yeah, Sami?
Yeah, so is it also open to new investors? Because I have a guy actively seeking to invest in some companies, and he's asking for my advice.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to take a look and see if it's a good match. So please just give it an intro.
He's a good guy from Holland, and he runs a lot of e-commerce and wholesale businesses, and I can vouch for him. He's a friend of mine. So, but yeah, okay. I'll introduce and make sure you get the ball rolling.
Thank you, Sami.
No worries, that. And I'm here to help, as I've always been.
Yeah, I know. Thank you again. Our mission is to democratize financial expertise and help transform capitalism into something that is better for the human spirit. It's a tough journey, and we will be invited to more and more difficult struggle as we grow, especially now with so much change happening in the world. But I think it's very important that we do this. And that is exactly why we have to stay resilient, face our fears with courage and an open heart, and most importantly, continue to bet on each other. That's what I'm doing. That's what our team is doing. And that's what our customers are doing. And that's why we will win in the end. That's it for me. Thank you for the time and patience and continued trust in my decisions. I know you're all very busy and have a lot to do. So I appreciate you setting off these 30 minutes today to join the call.
Can I ask something, Seb, which